Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Game of Thrones Winter's Coming. Today we are going to have a interesting episode in the sense that you can see up above that we currently are about to enter a Siege of Winterfell match. And I want to spend this time to try and show you what you can do to set up your account before entering the Siege of Winterfell match to get the most value out of your stats and to be able to participate in the event without having any issues. So let's jump right into it. One of the more basic things that we are starting out with is of course commanders and talents and such. As you can see here, I've opened the commander window and I have a set of armor, and you should make sure that before you enter Siege of Winterfell that you have put on your main lord. In my case it's Zek as usual. And then of course that you have your equipment on with the correct badges, which I have as well. And of course also remember that you can't switch inside the game mode. Your stats will be locked once you click the enter button, so all the stats you had before entering will be there, and all the stats that will be changed while inside won't have any effect. I believe the only thing that might have an effect is dragon skills, and even that I'm not sure about anymore. Because of how the strategic skill works, but in AC at least you can change around dragon skills, but I'm not sure you can do that in Siege of Winterfell currently. And of course if there are specific setups you can do, for example Inf, you can go with this setup, if you want to go full calf you can go with this setup, and so on and so on. So there are basically choices that you can do to try and increase your stats and your desired stats that you have, if you are infantry focus, or if you are spear focus or cavalry focus, or maybe you're just like me, want to use a little bit of everything. And of course all my troops are dead due to glorious battle, so I have to go with a bit of everything. Of course talents are super easy as well. Make sure that you have your talents over at the battle talent slide, that you have the correct setups there. And of course if you have the archive, then if you have it saved to a war setup for example, then you can always switch over there. So that's a lot easier to do, and these are like the basic things that have a pretty big influence on how you do it, but it's there. Another aspect that's super important in regards to stats is the, how can I say it, the Hall of Faces buff, which you get from executing lords. And in this case, once you have captured a lord, preferably low level lord, as low as possible, you will hold him captive for, depending on your level, but if it's a low level lord you will hold him captive for around 2 hours and 15 minutes to 2 hours and 30 minutes, something like that. And once you have held it captive that long, it will show up here in this list, and when you click the button you can basically see that you have an execute button. Once you click the execute button you will be confirmed that the lord is executed, and you can then also quickly jump into the Hall of Faces, as you can see here, and you can see you have the army bonus buff currently going on for 1 day, 5 hours. You can stack it up to 7 days if I remember correctly, depending on how many lords you kill. And that's pretty much like the basic stuff that you can do. Now we go over to the more advanced stuff. So some of the more advanced stuff that you can do in regards to setting up your account in preparation for Siege of Winterfell. Always check your castle skin and the margin skin. For my case I have the correct margin skin on already, and then of course also the right castle skin, and I prefer to use Shadows of Valyria, giving some fervor buffs and so on. And you might think, okay, what's fervor? And I will show that in a minute. As you can see, you can click on the Sept of 7 buff or icon, and it will show you some buffs that are available. One of the more easy buffs is the military preparation, which is the immediate curfew, total defense and total attack. This is just used to basically block scouting abilities from the enemy. The total defense and total attack, you have to pick one of them. You can't have both active. And as you can see, that gives me a warning that if I activate that, then I will lose the scouting denial stat. So you have to pick which one is most usable for you. I personally prefer the total attack one over the total defense. Then there is of course the fervor. You can see fervor stats here, what you get. And the fervor you activate by dropping your bubble and scouting someone. you can see here, when I scout out here, that I will get a message that my truce has been disabled, and when I click in here, the fervor is active currently for the next 15 minutes, and if you enter with fervor on, then that fervor buff will be active for the duration of the entire match, which is of course always super great. And if your alliance is really helpful, then they will set up a system where you can get your lords and your stats. In our case we have it here. Once I click in here, then hopefully at some point I should be handed a lord over to me, and that lord will basically give a 30 attack bonus, because once you have a lord captured, then you will get bonus for it in the dungeon, and of course you can also get the LC Lord Commander buff if they set it up that way for you, and that way you will get even more stats. So these are like small things that you can do, but they add up in the end towards the game. Some notes I forgot to make is that when you click on the dungeon, you can also see the execution shorten rate, which is 40% when it's fully upgraded, so I highly recommend you to upgrade it to that point. That's how my number is based on, because I have the 40% shorten rate. Otherwise it will probably take 4 to 5 hours instead, maybe, to execute a low level lord. And below here you can see when you have a lord imprisoned, you get the 30% buff. And the good thing about this is you only have to have it imprisoned before you enter the map. Once you are entered the map, you can release the lord and you will have the buff for the duration of the entire match. So that's really handy to know. And something that's also important that I forgot to mention is that army size expansion do not work for Siege of Winterfell. It also says that there will not take effect during the Siege of Winterfell battle. So make sure that you don't use that before entering, because it will obviously not have an effect. Once you get inside, the map looks like this. You can see an overview of the map over here, and you can see the 3 slots down here. And it's super important when you do these slots. You can set up your presets that way. You can take commanders. You have to take 3 commanders, put them together, click confirm, then the dragon, whichever dragon you want to use, and click confirm. Not sure what this spot here is for. Maybe something they'll add in the future, I don't know. But right now it's not, you can see future is not yet available. And just of course set whatever army size you want to have, or army types of troops you want to have in your deployment. And then you can click the button here and click up there, and it will save the preset, so that when you click the march button it will go out, and if you return them, then hopefully once you enter your castle again, you can just click on one and it will already have saved everything, and you can just click march. So yeah, that's rough things on what you can do to prepare for Siege of Winterfell. I hope you liked the video. Like and comment if you want to, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and of course if you want to play the game or you're new to the game, the Game of Thrones Winter's Coming Discord group is link is down in the description below, and so it is for the game if you want to play, of course, and as well for the music, where I get my music from for this channel. So I hope you all have a great match, have a great weekend, and take care. Bye bye.